What's up, and thank you to everybody for tuning in to TalkYOSpitTV. I am Mario Harris, the host of it, man. And as everybody know, in the past, I had this podcast going, and I stopped. Had some technical difficulties. I have found a new job. I have found two new jobs actually. One of them is which I do part time with the Grizzlies, so you won't be seeing any NBA content for now. Um, for disclosure reasons. So unfortunately, no NBA, no WNBA either content. Keeping it all, everything else is free game. Um, if it's basketball, it's going to be high school, overseas, college basketball. But like I said, no American professional basketball, WNBA or NBA will be broadcasted on my show, unfortunately. However, I will be doing NFL, I will be doing MLB, I would do a little bit of hockey here and there, depending on what's going on. The Stanley Cup is going on right now. I may touch on that. But yeah, I'm just gonna be doing mostly TV shows, movies, and everything else, sports. And we're gonna talk about it, man. I'm gonna give my opinion. I'm gonna let other people give their opinions in ways that I may bring up a tweet or Facebook post, something like that, an article, something like that, highlight things like that. So yeah, I'm gonna try to give as much information I can on this podcast. Less of my opinion per se, and more of what's going on. Not necessarily other people's opinions, just more of what's going on. If that makes any sense. But yes, I will have my opinions on here. Obviously, it's my podcast, so I'm gonna have my opinion on there. I'm trying to keep it 100% factual. I know false statements does come out, and if I do say something that's false, I will come back and correct it. Um, but once again, a lot of these things, some of these things will be my opinion, and it may not be a fact. It's just my opinion. So, but nevertheless, man, I just want to say thank you to everybody in the last few years who've been giving me words of encouragement. I want to say thank you to my family and friends that's been sticking by my side, not just with this podcast, but just with my life in general. And that's what I'm going to have this first episode talk about. Just being just going through life, man. Life has definitely been crazy for a lot of us, especially since COVID, since 2020. We lost a lot of family and friends during that time through COVID. And I mean, obviously, death happens anyway without COVID, and COVID just kind of increased it. And we lost a lot of people in our lives. A lot of people lost their job. A lot of people lost their income, lost their livelihood. And not saying that I'm one of those people. However, experienced those I experienced a lot of depression, anxiety in the last couple of years that I've never really experienced in my life. Another thing is with this podcast, I'm gonna try to be an open book. My life is already an open book. If you know me personally, you know I don't have no problem telling you what's going on in my life. I'm not one of the people that dwell in the past. I'm not one of the people that hold grudges or anything like that. Whatever happens, I've accepted it and moved on with my life. However, some things in the last couple of years and more recently in the last 6 months, um, my life has took a huge turn to say. So yeah, so this first episode, I want to speak on being in a state of depression and having anxiety. Um, so this won't be nothing about sports, won't be nothing about entertainment, anything like that. This is all about just handling oneself. And without further ado, let's just get into it, man. So for those of you who do not know, I used to work in news. I used to work at Channel 5 here in Memphis, Action News 5 WNC here in Memphis, Tennessee. And when I first got on, I got on as a director and master control operator. I done that for roughly 2 years, and then I finally got moved over, promoted to being a cameraman, videographer, photog, whatever you want to call it. That's what I went to school for. I went to school for to work on camera and off camera. things, not necessarily directing, not necessarily master controlling, things like that. So I took the job basically just to get my foot in the door, and I was very happy, very grateful for WMC to take a chance on me. And obviously, I messed up a few times, but I've always been a person to learn from my mistakes. I never really made the same mistake twice. I learned from my mistakes, and I felt like over the years that have helped me big time, tremendously, um, getting through life. So yeah, so like I said, within 2 years with the WMC, I got moved over to be in a photog, and I was happy to say the least, y'all. I was more than happy that I finally got to do something that I love, that I was dedicated to, that I went to school to do. Spent times and time. I'm not even going to get into how much I spent in college and undergrad trying to get my skills up to par with everyone else's. Well, I will softly say that I worked full time and I was in school full time. So, needless to say, I couldn't do a lot of projects with groups like everyone else. And my advisor, shout out to Dr. Robinson, he gave me some words. He was straight up with me. He's like, hey, you can't do it by yourself. A lot of people in the past have done it by themselves, but he told me more people have failed by doing it by themselves for whatever reason they had to do it for themselves. I mean, by themselves, excuse me. Um, so I just told Dr. Robinson straight up, man, I don't have no choice. I work 5 days a week. Um, So I 40 hours, 38 to 40 hours a week. So I don't have the time to meet up with groups after school and or whatever time they wanted to do it. I didn't have time to do it. I just had to work. So on my 2 off days throughout the week, I spent them 2 off days grinding, hustling, trying to get my projects in. I spent time after work. I used to get off work at 10 p.m. Excuse me, go straight to the computer lab in the communication building on campus. I went to UT Martin, shout out to the Skyhawks. I get off at 10 p.m., go straight to the computer lab in the communication building and get to it. Wouldn't leave till about 3, 4 a.m. some nights and had to be back in class at 8 a.m., then be at work at 1 p.m. So it was just an ongoing cycle of things that I had to do. And I got through it and I graduated. And 2 years after graduation, I found a job at WNC. And 2 years at WNC, I moved up to Photog. And like I said, I was ecstatic. I was happy. I was jumping for joy, giving God all the glory, all the thanks and praise, because what I've been through in my life to get to that point was just truly a blessing. So about I'll say a year in of me doing the job, unfortunately, I had gotten into a wreck in the station truck, and they had to let me go, and that sparked my depression right then and there. Never in my life have I felt that depressed. There's only one other time I could think in my life that I was depressed, and that was like the last year of school or college, trying to graduate and while working full time, trying to pay bills and do all this work I need to do. It was just so much that was coming on to me. And that was the first and only time that I can just truly remember that I was depressed. Um, so yeah, now that I lost my job in this past January on January 24th, if I'm not mistaken. The wreck happened on the 21st. I say that much on January 21st uh, of this year, 2025. And once WMC let me go, y'all, I was depressed. I was staying in my room with the lights off. I already have the dark curtain, the light blocking curtain, whatever you want to call it. So it's already kind of dark in my room anyway. So keeping the lights off, uh, and just staying in bed, literally crying my eyes out. Y'all, I cried when I lost that job. Never in my life have I cried from losing a job. Usually, I never been fired before either. I've been fired. Have I been fired before? I've never been fired before. Have I? I had a few jobs in my lifetime, but no, I don't think I've never been fired. Even when I was working at full time in Martin at Walmart, I don't look at that as a fire. because I was ready to go. I was ready to come back to Memphis, and Walmart was just doing some extra things um, pertaining to my money. And at that time, I had already graduated, so I wanted work more. Wanted to move up in the company, and they was just Walmart was just being extra at that time. So when I left, I was already planning on leaving. I started coming in late, started missing days and whatnot. So Walmart, we got to let you go. And I was like, all right, that's cool. Whatever. I'm going back to Memphis anyway. So whatever. Uh, but yeah, I lost that job at WNC, y'all, and I cried my eyes out. I cried hard, hard, man. I spent time in my closet in the dark, on the floor, sleeping on the floor, praying. Actually, in the closet is where I want to say I actually got closer to God. To be honest with y'all, man, I was in my closet in the dark and crying, and I just started praying. Something in me just like pray. I just started praying, and I just kept praying and praying and praying until I just felt a little better to come out the closet. I remember one day, it was on a Saturday night. I'm sleeping in the closet, man, and woke up next morning, Sunday morning. I prayed, and I was feeling a little bit better. So I was like, I'm gonna go to church. Also, I wasn't leaving the house. I didn't want to see nobody. I don't want to speak to nobody. So I haven't really. This is probably I've probably been in the house for about a week now, about a week now. Um, and I haven't really been out the house other to get some food, basically. Um, but I went to church that Sunday, and I felt a little better. And the preacher, my pastor Johnson, shout out to him. He started talking about uh, being a light to the earth and salting the earth, with every sermon, I try to pertain it to my life, so I can get the what am I looking for, so I can understand the sermon a little bit better. So I pertain it to my life, and as Pastor Johnson was just preaching, I just broke down crying, man, because I felt like my light was gone. I felt like the light that I had in me was gone, and everywhere I go, it was just darkness. Just that just was my. It's just how my depression had hit me, man, and I couldn't be in there no more. I couldn't be in the church no more. Unfortunately, I hate to say that out loud, but I just couldn't do it. So I left literally in the middle of the sermon, crying. My mama couldn't stop me. She was sitting right next to me. She couldn't stop me or nothing. I had to leave. Uh, Got in my car and I cried again, cried all the way home, and got back in my closet, cried again, and started praying, man. 'Cause it was just I just didn't know what to do. Honestly, I didn't have any plan. My plan was to work the videographer job for WNC for the next year or two, and to keep building my skills and keep building my resume real, so I can start getting it out there to other news stations, like bigger market news stations. I wanted to do that, and when I lost the job, I felt like everything, all my plans just went down, and I didn't have any plans. I didn't know what to do next. So yeah, like I said, I was in the closet and I just kept praying and praying and praying. I can't believe I'm saying this out loud. I just kept praying and praying and praying until I felt better, and something just told me like, just work on your resume, work on your resume real. And I feel like that was God telling me that. So I finally got out the closet, and I just started putting videos together. I got a whole bunch of raw clips that I've taken over the last year from being a photog, and I just started taking those clips and making videos out of it. And a blessing fell through, where Fox 13 called me, and and they allowed me to come on to the team as a freelancer, basically on call basis, uh, a temporary job, whatever. And it definitely helped me out mentally, because like I said, I didn't have what another plan for my life at all. I didn't know what to do. So being on call or being a freelancer for Block 13 helped me out mentally, allowed me to keep keep using my skills as a photo, allowed me to have more videos of a professional resume reel. Um, so that definitely helped me out. But unfortunately, like I said, it was a freelance job, so it's nothing set. And I'm still grateful for them and very beyond happy for Fox taking a chance on me, at least allowing me to do that. But it wasn't nothing set, and my financials started really dwindling. It really started to get low, and once again, man, I want to thank my family and friends, man. They've been helping me out so much, man. These last 6 months, trying because this is tough for me to say out loud. Y'all just don't know. But my family and friends have been with me every step of the way, literally every step of the way since January 21st that I had that wreck till today on June 7th. To today, man. So thank you to everybody that's been praying for me, praying with me. Thank you to everybody that should be giving me words of encouragement. Uh, Thank you for everybody that's been trying to get me out of the state of depression for whatever reason, whatever not really reason, but whatever, however way that they tried to get me out of this depression, it was all worth it, all needed. Thank you. My family and friends are definitely some real ones. Uh, and I thank God for them every day, every night that I pray. Um, but yeah, so I had to find a job, a regular steady job, just so I keep income coming in, and my bills are starting to pile up, and I need to pay. I got things to pay for and whatnot, and I do have two kids. For those of you who don't know, that's another reason why I thank my family. My family have been big time helping me out on my kids, and and I just can't thank them enough for that. So, man, I'm just saying thank you for that. But yeah, so I had to pick up a job at this warehouse, and I've I've been feeling very out of place, very uncomfortable at that warehouse, man. And what's been helping me lately has been turning my life to God, literally. And I'm not saying all this to try to convert anybody to Christianity. You're not trying to sway anybody's mind, anything. This is just I'm just letting y'all know what's been going on in my life and what I've been doing to help me out. And hopefully, whoever else is watching this and feeling some type of way about life, y'all can turn to God too, or turn to whoever makes you feel better. If you need a therapist, a doctor, a friend, a shoulder to lean on, find somebody, find that thing to help you get better in life, to help you get out of that depression. So I've been watching a lot of sermons lately on YouTube. Like I said, my pastor Donald Johnson at Old Girl Baptist Church here in Memphis, Tennessee. He's been helping me out. He just don't even know how much he's helped me out. His sermons, Pastor Johnson's a great pastor. I wish Old Girl would let him preach a little bit, at least 45 minutes. So I can tell when he's preaching, he has to sum up a lot of things very quickly in that I think it's 25 or 30 minutes they give him to preach. And I can tell a lot of time he ends it's like ending on a cliffhanger. You know what I mean? It's like, man, I need more. I need keep going. It's something else here. I know because I'm trying to get fully blessed, man. But Pastor Johnson is a great pastor. So if you're ever in Memphis, Tennessee, and if you're visiting Memphis, Tennessee, and you need a church to go to, come to Oak Grove. If you're already in Memphis, Tennessee, or if you're in the surrounding areas of Memphis and the Mid South, and you need a church home, come to Oak Grove. I promise you, Pastor Johnson will bless you. The church itself will bless you. The choir is great. Every other pastor there is great. The people there are great. Um, a lot of time people want to say that church can be this, that, and the third, whatever. But me personally, I met some of the greatest people in my life at that church. So uh, shout out to them and shout out to Oak Grove. But also, I've been watching a lot of sermons on YouTube. Pastor Mike Jr., Pastor HB Charles. There's a couple of pastors that I've been following and watching lately in the last couple of months, and they've been helping me out tremendously with my life, with their sermons. Just like I said, I'll take every sermon and apply it to my life. But I've been watching a lot of sermons on how to wait during a time of suffering, things like that. So I'm just telling y'all what I've been going through and how it's been helping me out. But also I want to pull up. I mean, like I said, I started. Um, but this video, man, like I said, it started. This is the first video, and want to bring up depression and anxiety and anxiety. Why can I talk? And anxiety. That we all will go through in our lives at some point in our life. Uh, so let me just give you the definitions here. The definition of depression, also called major depressive disorder, it's a mood disorder characterized by persistent feelings of sadness, hopelessness, and a lack of interest of pleasure in most activities. Uh, these are not my definitions, obviously, y'all. This definition comes from the Diagnostic and Statistical Manual of Mental Disorders. Um, this is the official manual used by clinicians and researchers to diagnose mental health. So, it's not my definition. Um, but yeah, so it's just persistent sadness and emptiness and a loss of interest or pleasure in activities once enjoyed. And that definitely describes what I've been going through the last, not necessarily the last 6 months, but I'll say the first 3 months of this last 6 months. I've been going through a huge state of depression. I will say that I've kind of gotten out of the depression, and now I'm trying to handle my anxiety. So I'm gonna get to that in a second. But me getting out of depression, man, I had to find joy in life again. And like I said, I turned to God. In the Bible, in the New King James Version and Psalms, it tells you, Psalm 34:18 tells you, the Lord is near to those who have a broken heart and saves such as have a contrite spirit. Um, just let you know that it's the encouragement of God is letting you know that He's still with you. This is life, man. Life has its ups and downs. No matter who you say, whoever walked on this earth, they went through trials and tribulations, and people have gotten out of it and became better in life. One Bible one Bible story that been sticking with me through this time is the story of Job. Job was he is defined in the Bible as a blameless, righteous man. He went through whole life trusting in God, having all his faith in God, and without him knowing, God and the devil was talking, and the devil was basically telling God, "Hey, if you allow me to bring trouble in somebody's life, they will steer away from you." And like I said, without Job knowing, God recommended Job to the devil. The devil didn't even ask Job by name, and that's what's crazy. And the devil was like, "Bet, he's been following you all his life. He's been trusting you all his life. Everything been good in his life. So bet, watch the one bad thing in his life, he's gonna turn away from you. Just watch." So sure enough, Job lost his kids, lost his house, got really sick. He had boils and whatnot, scars and whatnot all over his body. Um, and he would go to his friends, and all his friends would tell him, "It's your fault. It's your fault. It's your fault." Went to his wife, tell him it's your fault. Do this, this, and that, and the third. We lost our kid, and the whole time, Job never lost his faith in God, and his reward was being blessed 10 times, 20 times. I can't remember how much the Bible exactly said, how much it was more, but he was blessed way more than what he had in the past. He was blessed with more kids, more land. Uh, he was healthy, better relationship in his and with his friends, with his marriage. He was just blessed beyond measure. And actually, I think that's what the Bible said, blessed beyond measure. Now that I think about it, but that's the story that very stuck with me because Job went through so much pain, physically and internal pain, and he never lost his faith. And at the end, he became way more blessed, lived way longer than expected. Got to see his kids grow, and things like that, and got to see grandkids, things like that. So he was just blessed, super blessed, man. And I apply that to my life because all I did was just lose a job. You know what I mean? I had to think about it like some people lose a job and they be out on the street. Some people lose a job and they lose their mind. Whatever it is. Some people lose their job and they turn to drugs, or alcohol, whatever it is. Me personally, man, I lost my job, and like I said, my family been a big help. I had my parents to lean on, and they, I've been staying with them. I have a house, I have a roof on my head. I still have my clothes on my back, still got food on the table. So I'm still blessed, even though I'm going through a little, a little problem, little hiccup in life. I'm still blessed, man. And and in the Bible, it tells you, you know, you can be angry, you can be sad. It's about human characteristics. It's going to happen. Things happen in life. Those characteristics will come up. That's just human. But it's what you do to handle those things, what you do after those things, that will determine your if you're gonna be blessed. So like I said, I turned to God, man. To get out of this depression, man. I had to get in the Bible. I had to pray more. And who knows to say that I lost that job because I was probably steering away from God. And I'm not fully saying that I was, because I was still going to church on Sunday. That's another thing too. When I was directing for WMC, I was working on Sundays, so I couldn't go to church. But once I got moved over to the Photog, I was off on Sunday, so I started going back to church, but maybe I wasn't going back as much. Maybe I wasn't fully engaged mentally, spiritually as I should have been. And God had to humble me, man, and He did. And I've been going back to church. I've been mentally, spiritually going back to church, not just physically. You can physically go to church, and if you're going and not getting a word out of it, then why are you here? Why are you there? Uh, so I've been spiritually building myself up, um, and that's got me out of depression. And when I like I said, I was at this warehouse that I'm at now. Um, I'm very I'm very uncomfortable in many ways because I know I'm not supposed to be there. But allow me to listen to a few sermons here and there, talking to God every day, every hour, has allowed me to get through being in that warehouse. So now I'm in the warehouse. Like I said, I still kind of feel uncomfortable being there because, like I said, I'm not supposed to be there. But I know it's not the end. I know I have way more to go, way further to go in life, and this is just a place that I have to be at in life. I'm really not trying to um, whatever. So this is if all for all my Bible readers, all my Christians. Um, we all know Jesus was the perfect man, and he walked this earth sinless. And before the night before his crucifixion, um, he was in the Garden of just Gethsemane. I'm sorry if I said that word wrong, that name wrong. Gethsemane, in the garden out there, and he took his disciples with him, and he's letting them know, hey, one of y'all going to deceive me, another one of y'all going to deny me 3 times. Like, he letting them know they're going to do it. And they're his disciples, and they're telling him like, no, we follow you to the end. with you always. Uh, so as he goes deeper into the garden, he only takes three of the disciples, and Peter is one of them. And if you know Peter, Peter's the one that denied him three times. Uh, once they got Jesus, and they got Jesus through another disciple, Judas. We all know who Judas is. He's the one that betrayed Jesus. And so once they came and got him, Peter denied him three times to people. They all actually, I think a woman had that woman. I can't even think of her name right now. Sorry, y'all. But she had pointed him out, was like, "Hey, you one of the followers of God, one of the followers of Jesus?" And Peter was like, "No, no." And she seen him a couple more times, and he kept saying no. But yeah, anyway, I'm sorry, y'all. Um, Jesus took Peter and two other disciples deeper into the garden, and Jesus told them to stay there while I go pray, but y'all go look out. Not necessarily. I'm not sure, and I need to look up further on this, but I'm not sure Jesus told him to necessarily look out for Judas and everybody coming to get him, because Jesus already knew it was coming. Um, I just think Jesus wanted them to just be up. You know what I mean? Be up, and if Jesus went deep into the garden to go pray, and if Jesus can be up and praying, whatnot, I feel like that's what he's telling them. Like, y'all can do the same thing. However, Jesus checked on them three times, and all three times they was asleep. So Peter already, before he even denied Jesus out loud, he's already denying Jesus to his face by going to sleep with him three times, and really six times within a span of what, I don't know, 8 hours or so, 12 hours maybe, something like that. Peter denied Jesus that many times, which is crazy. But Jesus is a man of he's a righteous man and a sinless man, like I said, and he's a forgiving man. So each time when he went to go check on them and seeing that they were asleep, you know, he goes back and tells them, man, like, first of all, why are y'all asleep? I'm here praying. Y'all can be up too. And the Bible said they were very restless, eyes heavy. They just had a long day. They just had the Last Supper, and everything else happened. So, that's why they will sleep. Jesus, like, man, if I can be up, y'all can be up too. So, you know, once the third time he comes over there and he sees them sleep, he's like, "Don't worry about it now. The day has come," and that basically means that Judas has already betrayed him, and the folks on the way to come get him now. So it's already too late. But I say all that to say that Jesus was in that garden, just praying, praying to God that if if there's another way to save people without me dying, please let it be. Please find that way now. Now is the time to find that way. But he also said at the end of that, he said, uh, but not by my will, by thy will be done. Basically meaning that I'm asking you to, if there is another way, God, please show it. But if this is the way by your will, if this is what you already have planned, then that's it. Then I can accept that. This is just how it's got to be. So once again, I say all that to say this: as I'm in this warehouse thinking like I'm uncomfortable, I'm not supposed to be here, and I'm praying to God, like, please God, find me another job. Please God, find me a career in videography. And the whole time I'm still feeling uncomfortable. But once I realized that story, once I heard that story again and put my life to it, I'm looking at like, well, this warehouse is my garden. You know, um, I'm praying to God that I get out of here, but this is God's plan. I can't. Who am I to disrupt God's plan? I can't not get past this. I have to go through it, and by going through it, I need God with me every step of the way. Jesus got through that garden to become king. You understand what I'm saying? Like he had to get through that garden to become king. That was his path. So my path is maybe I just need to get through this warehouse to become the next step in life that I need to go. That I need to go. And man, that's just whew, that's a blessing right there, man. I'm sorry, that's a blessing. Thank you. So I'm just telling y'all that that's how I found my joy in life again. That's how I got out of depression. By turning to God, man. I'm trying to tell y'all these Bible stories, they hit hard. They hit hard, man. No matter what Bible story you throw at me, you can pertain it to you can compare it to today's time, man. It just it's just crazy. I mean, I can go on. I got another Bible story even about Moses and how he was with the Pharaoh's people and he killed the man because it was the right thing to do. Man was hurting the Hebrew slave. One of the Pharaoh people hurting the Hebrew slave, and Moses ended up killing him and had to hide out in the forest. Well, I think for 1 year, I think 40 years, if I'm not mistaken. It was a long time. It was about 40 years. It was a few decades for sure. Uh, and he had to do that so God can strengthen him, so he can lead his people to take over Pharaoh. Y'all understand what I'm saying? So you use that today in time that you may have to go through a certain trouble in your life and losing a job, uh, losing a relationship you really thought that was going to be forever, bills not being paid, whatever it is, natural disaster, whatever it is that go through life that can knock you down. You go through it so you become stronger. You lean on God. You have your faith on God that everything will be okay in the end, and you will be blessed. You'll be blessed beyond measure. And that's how I got out of my depression, out of my sadness, just turning to God. Everything I do in life, I add God into it. I pray first about it and pray after. That will allow me to that allow me to get out of my depression. The state of feeling sad and hopelessness. And once I turned to God, I realized hope has not lost at all. Uh, you being in depression mode, you focus on past things and your present situation. However, God is trying to get you away from that past, let you know that the past has happened. It ain't can't change that. So you gotta accept whatever happened in the past happened. What you can change is your present and your future. So God is letting you know that you turn to Him, and in your present, you pray, your faith in Him, you keep your trust in Him high, and your future will be 10 times blessed than what it is. Uh, so yes, that's the depression side of things, but also from depression, there's anxiety, and I'm reading the definition of anxiety once again. It's not my definition. Um, Anxiety, generalized anxiety disorder, is a condition marked by excessive, uncontrollable worry about various aspects of life, even when there is little or no reason for concern. Just constant worry or fear, constant uh, thinking like, "Oh my God, I can't do this. Oh my God, I got this going on." Things like that, feeling restless or on edge all the time, trouble concerning, mental fatigue, man. You just feel tired, restless all the time. Um, and dare I say laziness, man. Laziness to me, laziness is a sign of anxiety, man. And it's a sin, you know. Uh, I need to tell that for myself. Uh, so yeah, yeah. So anxiety, man. I started thinking like, am I really good enough to be a videographer, a video editor? And am I good enough? I say that because I've been applying. Don't get me wrong. I've been applying to numerous amount of news for photo job in Tennessee, and some in Detroit, and some in Charlotte. 'Cause I got family out in those cities, and I've been denied, literally denied all of them. I had a couple interviews here or there, but didn't get it. And I started thinking to myself, like, worrying, like, maybe I'm not, maybe it's not the path for me. Maybe it's not the position uh, for me. And I just, I just been in the, and I've been feeling very, I've been having this anxiety for probably the past, let's see, 2 months, maybe 3 months, since about mid-April, early May, something like that. So maybe about 2, 3 months, something like that, whatever. Uh, so I just, I just ain't been feeling like, I haven't been feeling like I've been on my path, on the right path of life and whatnot. And I'm still, and I say this, I'm saying everything with a whole heart. I'm still fighting this. I had anxiety about doing this podcast, man. Just was anybody going to feel what I'm saying on this podcast? And I've never been the one to care what anybody thought about me or said about me or anything. However, doing this podcast, I really love doing it. When I used to do it in the past and whatnot, I fell in love with just being in front of the camera and just talking, like I'm doing now. Um, and I lost that love of doing it. So before starting this in the last couple weeks or so, I've been really feeling feeling like, okay, am I supposed to be doing this? Am I in the right path of life? Uh, is this going to help my future out? I know it can. The only thing is, what I've been thinking about is how it's going to help my future. Because everybody nowadays is doing podcast streaming on YouTube, Twitch, whatever it is, and it's such a wide open world now that everybody's doing it. Even though I went to school for similar things like this, a lot of people just going to Best Buy, Amazon, Walmart, whatever it is, and buying mics, lights, computers, and just starting it up and going, just doing it. No real structure, no real curriculum, none of them things like that. They just doing it. And I had anxiety of feeling like, is my future flawed from doing this because everybody else is doing it? Do I look like the next person doing it? Things like that come to my mind. Uh, so it was just a lot of things like that I've just been thinking about. But once again, in the last couple of weeks, I turned to God again, and I've been trying to find certain sermons and scriptures on anxiety. And one I found that helped me out is it's coming from Philippians 4, chapter 4, verse 6-7, and it says, "Be anxious for nothing, but in everything by prayer and supplication with thanksgiving, let your requests be made known to God. And the peace of God, which surpasses all understanding, will guard your hearts and minds through Christ Jesus." Uh, this scripture goes straight to anxiety. Uh, it addresses it perfectly. Let you know that prayer and trusting God is the way out of anxiety, just like that is the way out of depression, the way out of anxiety too. There's no reason in the scripture telling you, there's no reason to have to have anxiety, no reason to be anxious at all when you have God. You know, God is on your side always, always. Even God giving Job's name to the devil, he was still on Job's side because he knew Job. He knows Job is a righteous man. He knows Job is a blameless man, and he knows Job isn't going to turn away from him. The devil don't know that, but God knows. God knows your heart, and if you're true in your heart, if you really let God into your heart, whoo, man, this. I'm sorry, y'all. This is just hidden. If you truly let God into your heart, there's nothing in the world to be anxious about. Like I said before, problems going to come. We're human, but we're going to feel certain type of ways about things. It's the human characteristic. That's one of the characteristics that God has blessed us with. God gives every human on this earth free will to do or feel any type of way. That's the blessing of being a human. You got free will to do anything. You're not confined to this one way of thinking. You're not confined of this one way of feeling whatever it is. God gives you free will to think, feel however way you want to feel, or be whatever it is. With that being said, though, you have to, with that free will, you have to know that you have to still with God is when things go wrong, you have to know that God is looking for you to trust in Him to bring you through this. You know, once you're in it, you're in it. You can't skip out of it. You know what I mean? You can't go around it. You're in it. You need God to get you through it. You have to go through it and go through it. You have to stay praying. You have to keep your faith high. You have to trust Him. In the Bible it tells you if you have faith of a mustard seed, then you're good. So even the little of faith that people may have, they can be blessed too. Imagine if you have huge faith, how much you can be blessed. And that's been helping me out to get out of this anxiety, feeling anxious about things. And also another scripture I wanna put out there, Matthew chapter 6, verse 34. Uh, Jesus saying, therefore, do not worry about tomorrow, for tomorrow will worry about its own thing. Sufficient for the day is its own trouble. Now I am reading from the New King James Version. Not sure what everybody's version reading the New King James Version. I brought up an old school church, so read from the New King James Version. But basically, it's telling you Jesus is letting you know to stay present and not be consumed by future plans, future fears. You know, stay in the present. Stay where you at right now. Stay right there. Do not worry about the future. The future can be changed. The future can be changed. Tomorrow, you have all these plans for tomorrow. You're gonna do this, you're gonna do that, you want to be this way, that way, whatever it is. Then tomorrow comes and you got a whole nother plan to do something about your life, whatever it is, for whatever reason. Stop worrying about tomorrow. Worry about today. Picture today. Today is the day that you stop and you pray to God and you allow God to come in your heart to fix whatever you got going on in your life. Uh, Tomorrow will worry about itself. Today is today. So just don't be anxious, man. You, I can't say don't be anxious. Don't continuously be anxious. Say that because you're gonna get anxious. If you're dedicating your life, you're gonna be anxious. That's just I guarantee every successful person will tell you they were anxious at some point in their life before they got successful. And they probably still are anxious about doing this, that, and third, whatever it is. 'Cause we're all human. Uh, but it's what we do during that time of having anxiety. Are we going to sit here and dwell on it? We're going to pray and hustle and get out of it and build our future. So yeah, man, I'm gonna leave that at that, man. I didn't call a word for myself, man. I'm gonna have to find me a sermon to listen to on that because that really blessed me big time right there. And I hope this brief video on depression and anxiety bless you too. Um, I just it I just want to get my story out there. A lot of people do not know this. Um, Many people do not know this about my life, or did not know none of that about my life. I know I put a lot of things on social media that seem my life is going great. A lot of people think I have no problems in life for whatever reason. Uh, but I uh, I just want to put it out there to people that depression and anxiety is going to happen, no matter what problems you go through in life. Going to happen, but remember to stay prayed up to God. Allow God into your heart. Even if you don't go to church, encourage people to find time to talk to God. If you've been baptized, if you believe in God, and you need to find time to talk to Him and let Him in into your life. Uh, and and this just got on my mind right now. When you praying to God, uh, don't pray don't pray on things that you think He wants to hear. Pray the things that's true and dear in your heart. You know, don't do no half-hearted prayer. That's not how you get blessed. You have to fully pray. Uh don't only pray when times are bad. Pray when times are great too. Thank God for them great times. Thank God for them bad times. They got you strong, got you out of it. You know what I mean? Prayer is very, very intimate and it's very, very powerful. Uh, that's why I don't allow everybody to pray for me. I don't tell everybody to pray for me. I don't accept everything everybody says to me. When it comes to certain things, like I have a story on this. My I just worked with the warehouse. He was telling me the other day, uh, he was ready to leave the job, but he claimed God kept telling him to stay. And when he was talking to me and whatnot, and I was just telling him about life and just things like that and whatnot, he was like, "I found my mission. I understand what God was telling me, why God was telling me to stay. My mission is here to help you." And I'm like, "What do you mean to help me? With what?" So I was telling him about my life, about far as how I lost my job and how I've been depressed and things like that. But I'll also tell him how I turned to God, and all that too. And apparently, dude, he knows Mayor Paul Young. He knows a few councilmen and councilwomen. Uh, he knows people in City Hall, knows people in MLGW, knows people in FedEx. He's just telling me a whole bunch of things that he knows and whatnot. I'm listening to him, but the whole time, and, he just kept saying, before I get to that part, he just kept saying to me that God brought me here to bless you. I know these people, and I'm gonna get you in the right position. I'm gonna do this, that, and the third. I'm gonna tell this person about you. Da da da. And yes, I've been praying to God that He put me in places that I can network, I can talk to people, I can meet people to bring me into a higher place. I've been praying, and the whole time, like I said, the whole time He's talking to me, saying all the right things to me. It's however I'm staring at Him, looking at Him, and we at work, man, drunk. Like, I'm talking about drunk, eyes bloodshot, eyes glaring, eyes low. You can kind of smell it, but he kind of masks it over his cologne and whatnot. And but the whole time I'm just thinking, myself, dude, you drunk, telling me all this, like 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 God doesn't God doesn't play with people like that. You know what I mean? He don't. You drunk, and don't get me wrong, man. The saying, "A drunk man tells no lies." I don't necessarily fully believe that, but I believe that. But thing is, man, you are out of your body. You're out of your mind, and the alcohol is in. All I know is you just talking, because you just saying that stuff because I said it. You know what I mean? I just told you all this stuff about me, about my life and whatnot, and you just repeating it back to me in a different way. You know what I mean? Like, because you're drunk. You just saying whatever comes to mind. So I didn't fully take it. I didn't fully accept it and whatnot. I shook his hand and whatnot, and he cool. But I just didn't fully accept it. And then once we got done talking, I went back to my area and I just did this little prayer, and it was just like, I just told God, like, man, if that is the person you sent to me, that's going to help me, Lord God, thank you, and I will use it and be blessed. But also, Lord, he was drunk, and please do not let me mess up my blessing by accepting he what he trying to place on me. Not even 15 minutes later, something like that. Supervisor come in there, seeing what we doing and whatnot. Goes over to dude, tell him to do something else. Dude walked up to the supervisor and started talking to him. Supervisor instant smell. Oh, fire. that right there lets me know I don't accept everything from people. God did not send you to help me out, my boy. Not you being drunk like that. He did not send you to help me out like that. And you playing on God's name while you drunk, he gonna humble you. He gonna humble. And he humbled him real quick. Fired that man right then and there. So I'm sorry, y'all. I can talk for days. I can go on for days and days about my life and about different things that goes on and whatnot. Like I said, I am an open book. But I just wanted to say that, uh, you know, don't you have depression and you're being anxious, just turn to God. Don't accept everything from everybody. Prayer is very powerful, very intimate. Have time to yourself to talk to God and find the people that are truly God's people and they can help you out too. Uh, so yeah, man, I just thank y'all for listening to all that. um, I hope you found some some words of encouragement during that. I hope you get closer to God. I hope you get out of whatever depression or whatever has you anxious in life. Um, as always, y'all please share, comment, like on this video. Let me know if you have testimonies, anything. Hey, tell me. I'm all ears. We can talk about it together. Leave a comment on it, whatever it is, man. But I thank y'all for listening and check out my other videos on my YouTube, my videography videos. I will be, like I said, I will be adding more video for my podcast, TalkYOSpitTV. I am Mario Harris. Thank you.